welcome to the Wall of Sound. I'm your host, Kate Rista. Happy Saturday night. I hope you're having a good one. I am running late today because I went to see my friend Marin Anderson's play with the Apple Box Theater down in Monmouth, and it was fabulous. And we also had pizza and cake and tea and let's do some things while we have the energy before the sugar crash. So we are coming back into Flower Shop for Heroes going, what happened to us last time we were here? My friend Grant Rosenberg in his second book starts with previously on Gideon, which reminds me of like a TV show, right? Previously on Flower Shop for Heroes. So previously on Flower Shop for Heroes, we were working on this delightful chapter, which we called La 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 La. So let's go and check it out. View and edit. And if you all remember absolutely everything we did yesterday, high five, tell me, because I swear I was there. So let's go ahead and preview our gameplay and get ourselves back into this. Usually I end this session by writing some notes for myself about what's coming next. Last time we had gone through and made a whole bunch of edits on things that we wanted to fix. I'm actually not going to do a whole big preview here. We'll just preview a couple of things really fast. So you do not have to know where we've been in the story. I'm going to give you a short, very, very short rundown. Previously on Flower Shop for Heroes, Stariel is the hero. He went into the Gothic ruins to rescue the princess, but it turns out the princess is the villain. Dun, dun, dun. And so the princess, the villain, hangs him upside down and then, says, I'm going to Mount Doom. You're an idiot. And he's like, oh my gosh, my soul is crushed. And anyway, so then he is like running out of he gets rescued instead of doing the rescuing. And then on his way out, he rescues a whole bunch of people from the dungeon cells. Some of them not so cool. But as they are fleeing from the Gothic ruins, the pink rainbow ooze, galaxy dust is coming out of the Gothic ruins, right? And so they are running away from the rainbow ooze that's going to consume their souls. When I say they, it is Stariel, and the very spooky ghost is coming along with him. So, very spooky ghost's name originally was Reginald, but he prefers the very spooky ghost. All right, so in this scene, we have to save the fairy garden, and then I have the very spooky ghost saying something. I don't have anything interesting at the moment. So you know what you have to do. The path is clear. Well, it's actually rainbow ooze coming to consume the entire fairy garden and also life itself. So you are holding a Venus flytrap. Do not forget this fact. So basically, you are doing a little backpedaling here. You're doing a little backstory and remembering, oh no, the princess is the villain. No one cares. She doesn't need me anymore. Who am I? And then suddenly you hear a help me, and it's the flying cat, right? And you, as Stariel, keep wallowing in self-misery. Is that a word? Self-misery? Is it wallowing in misery? Anyways. And so the flying cat, who some of y'all have met before, if you went through the fairy garden the first time, you got to meet the flying cat. If you decided to go straight for the Gothic ruins, you have not previously met the flying cat. The flying cat thinks you're a villain either way. So we added a short little thing where the flying cat is like, help! And Stariel's not snapping out of it, so the very spooky ghost says, snap out of it! And he has a very spooky ghost look now. And so then he's back to his kindly old self. So the flying cat asks, vile villain, will you help us or no? And this is the point where we do a check variable, where we check to see if you have been to the fairy garden before. Because if you've been to the fairy garden before, you know this flying cat is not necessarily cool. So it says, wait a minute, I've been through the fairy garden before. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on the inept systems of government that have prevented something I gotta think of. Are those beautiful balls of light going to sizzle my soul again? I seriously miss my shoes. So in the fairy garden the first time around, you lost your shoes. So yes, we get to add in that. Let me make sure you see that because everybody needs to see the solidness of that pun. So after that, we are getting a choice here. So we get to that, and the flying cat says, if you do nothing, there will be no will-o'-the-wisps, no bluebells, no forest at all. What will you do? Okay? Interesting thing we kind of discovered here is that you have to keep this little part here short. So we trim that down a little bit too. So you have the option of pull out your sword or scream a lot. So we worked our way through pull out your sword. Hashtag nothing happens. So you can see you whip out your sword. We're going to give some really fancy language here. We're going to refine that a little bit, which we talked about. We haven't done that yet. You swing your sword. Nothing happens. It is galaxy devouring rainbow ooze. And then we talk a little bit about why it wouldn't work. And you pick up the Venus flytrap. So let's start there. You pick up the Venus flytrap. We can start right in here, actually. It is galaxy devouring rainbow ooze. You can't stab it with the pointy part of your sword. In fact, the tip of your... No, let's leave the tip of the sword because we don't really want to add in another. We can't. It's kind of hard to make to add changes within changes, or like within choices, choices within choices. So I'm just gonna say you can't stab it with the pointy part of your sword. In fact, you can't stab it with the pointy part of your sword. You can't hero your way out of this. Oh no, so what do? You scream. Boom, boom. You scream. Why is it not showing you screaming? I want to see you scream. You scream. There we go. And then, so that leads us to that option of scream a lot. So we talked about how our two branches are coming together. We have our, you tried to stab the rainbow galaxy ooze and it totally didn't work out. Or you scream a lot. So either way, they're both leading to the same outcome. So you scream a lot. Ah! All right. So the reason I was leaning towards you screaming a lot is that we can bring in somebody else who can actually help solve this problem. So in thinking about that, we have a whole bunch of possibilities. The first possibility is actually Veneer. So Veneer is our alchemist. And if you remember, very beginning of chapter 1, nobody else is going to remember this, but you will. You'll know. The all-knowing. Let's check that out. Let's see what Veneer actually says. So flashback, Veneer. You're welcome. So he says, you're probably wondering how I got here. And Veneer says, you're welcome. And no, like I was saying, you weren't. I was chasing down a trilless troll. Wonderful. He was bashing up the kingdom. Listen, I'm just here for, he had teeth the size of mountain goats. That is a strange comparison. Fists the size of rose bushes. That does not make any sense. And eyes like the fading twilight of your youth. Hey. Okay. So going on and on and on. Are you even listening? So no, I'm not. I said watch out. And a little bit further down here we see, let's see, almost there, almost there, almost there. Cardamom, nutmeg, fame, fortune. Okay, here we go. So you wait for the real answer, but it's all wrapped up in all of his boring words and boring explanations of boring things. God's Veneer is so boring. His mouth is moving, but all you hear is blah, boring, blah, alchemist, boring, blah, life-saving treatments, blah, blah, blah. So in that life-saving treatments, all the things that he's doing, we know that Veneer is around here doing some different things, right? So we come back up to our chapter and we have Stariel screaming a lot. So we have in the one last point for you is we also have a possible sexist wizard we can use. We have not brought back the evilest wizard of all time. He's around here somewhere too. I don't think we should use him. I think we'll keep him for later. We also have the ghost, and I think Her Royal Highness we should leave up in the Gothic ruins at this point. And then we have the flying cat, right? And then the bluebells. So you scream a lot. So in this case, instead of doing all those things, I'm gonna go with Veneer coming to the rescue. Do 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 do. Veneer. Stariel, are you okay? Or how about Stariel, I'm coming? So he says, and then he says, Stariel, I'm coming. Why is that not showing as a... There we go. Stariel, I'm coming. That surprised one looks weird. He doesn't look good sad though, right? It just looks sad. Surprised. How about angry? What does it look like angry? Oh. And his default is just kind of stoic, so I think we do have to go with surprised as his like yelly voice thing. Stariel, I'm coming. And Veneer. So this gives us 4 seconds of distraction while basically Veneer is running up. We need to give a little time for Veneer to get over there. So as we're making that transition, you can either have Stariel doing something about the situation, or you can have some back and forth banter. I'm choosing back and forth banter, and we'll see how that goes. So Stariel, I'm coming. Veneer. Yes, it's me. He's not there yet, so let's say. Wait. How? There we go. Now we're back in. Wait. How do you know Veneer? Confused? Surprise. What did I surprise? Surprise look. He's not like super happy. He's just kind of default. Wait. How do you know Veneer? Okay, that looks normal. All right. That looks Stariel-ish. So Veneer. Wait. How do you know Veneer? We went to alchemical school together. No. I dropped out, made that rainbow ooze. Super sorry about all that. So I dropped out, made that rainbow ooze. Turns out I'm a terrible alchemist. Super sorry about all that. And this is Stariel, so of course he says something where it's like, you know, I really believe you gotta follow your passions. Something about flowers growing because he likes flower references. Stariel, flower reference. Okay, so you know I really believe you gotta follow your passions. Flowers don't grow without some sunlight, you know? And just lost you, now you're back. And are you seriously not going to do anything? You want to remember angry one? We might have an angry flying cat now. Yeah, let's have an angry flying cat though. I tried. I really did. But swords... Wait, he didn't necessarily try. Let's see. It's Galaxy Devouring Rainbow Ooze, right? Swords don't work. What do you expect me to do? Um, and this is where like Flying Cat gets to be sassy, right? I expect you to do something. You are a hero. And it's galaxy devouring rainbow ooze. Swords won't work. Swords don't work, or swords won't work. Swords won't work. What do you expect me to do? I expect you to do something. You are a hero. But I have no idea what. Super sad. Devastated Stariel. In comes Veneer. Veneer says. Ding ding ding. What does Veneer say? Veneer says. Sad Veneer? Oh. Happy Veneer? Is Happy Veneer super happy? No. How different is that from default Veneer? Okay, we'll go with default Veneer. Stoic. So, but I have no idea what. I know exactly what to do. Oh, hey Reginald. Good to see you, Veneer. I go by very spooky ghost now. Even happy, he looks spookier when he's happy. Looks like a little pump, like one of those like pumpkins that's all like deflated. Spooky. All right, so good to see you, Veneer. I go by very spooky ghost now. Let's give him a happy one on this one. Got to. I was wondering where you went. Rainbow ooze didn't work. Out then. We should probably have some description in there at some point. Okay, so this would be a good chance where we're going to break into Veneer's just going to stop everything, right? Fancy Veneer alchemical work. We can have a break in here where we. I was going to say, so he says, I was wondering where you went. Rainbows didn't work out then. We can have some references here to the princess as the villain and how she was trying to use it nefariously. I think the something along the lines of like the ghost, the very spooky ghost, saying, "Yes." Turns out the princess was trying to use it nefariously. I feel like that needs a dun dun dun. Let's have Stariel say that. And then she's the villain now. It was quite an unexpected turn. And in classic form, Angry Cat. Could you maybe explore it later when my kingdom is not on fire? Could you maybe explore it later when my kingdom is not on fire? Oh, I want to bring in somebody else, but I'm not going to. We've had a lot of we got a lot of characters we're juggling here. Um, okay. So, just getting back and checking the shape of the scene so far, because basically we've decided we gotta save the fairy garden. Stario gave it a try or didn't, or he started screaming. Veneer has arrived. There's some back and forth with the. We have brought in the ghost and the cat. Could you maybe explore later when my kingdom is not on fire? With pleasure. As I was saying to Stariel earlier, I don't remember talking to you. And this is the sassy Veneer and Stariel back and forth. And Veneer saying, I rescued you. You were hanging over a vat of troll snot. You're hanging over a vat of troll snot. And gaslighting. I don't remember that. And let's do the two things of, I don't remember that. And so he should say, really? What's that in your hair? And just to be anachronous, we can say new product. And because y'all are never really gonna see the end of the pink ooze, I'm gonna do it to you because this is how it goes whenever you are creating something with Kate. New product. New product from Josh. Tell me more. And we haven't used this one yet, so I'm gonna do this one. Not right. Maybe we meow. Not right. Meow. Fair enough. You can find me down in the village. Something something business reference. Super funny. Everybody laughs. Spelled wrong. Alright. Okay. Everybody laughs. Laughs. Okay. So. Alright. Not right, meow. New product, tell me more. Not right, meow. Fair enough. While you've been exploring the, I was gonna say like structural integrity of troll snot. The galaxy dust, rainbow ooze, has reached the edge of the fairy garden. Troll snow. your sword just in case, and veneer raises a... What's that little apothecary jar thing? We'll just say a jar and we can fix that in a bit. So veneer raises a jar. You whip out your sword just in case, and veneer raises a jar of classic shadow and flame. Veneer raises a jar of shadow and flame. So you can always have a longer text box and it'll break it up into different onto different boxes if it needs to. I just personally prefer to choose the size of my text boxes. So sometimes you'll see me adding like another text box when I could just use the one and keep filling it out. It's just because I want to determine the break point like in between the screen flips. There's a bunch of fancy words for that stuff and I didn't use any of them. You're welcome. So while you've been exploring the structural integrity of Troll's Knot, the rainbow ooze has reached the edge of the fairy garden. You whip out your sword just in case, and veneer raises a jar of shadow and flame. Darkness, death, unholy night. Let's give him another. This is that example of wanting to break it up a little bit so that you can follow it. So darkness, death, unholy night. Shadows will cast out the light. Boom. And we say, you probably sure just raises a jar of shadow and flame. His voice lowers as he intones. Darkness, death, unholy night. What do you think y'all want? I don't remember what's a good one for veneer intoning. Probably would be actually happy about it. Just kind of default. I guess that's okay. We'll think about that one. Darkness, death, unholy night, shadows will cast out the light. He tosses the jar at the rainbow ooze. It splashes in an arc of unending darkness. Unending darkness? Unending onyx? What do you want? You want unending onyx for now? We might change it. It splashes in an arc of unending onyx. What's it? True black? Is that what there was that whole thing with a black that was so black that it was the blackest black. And then they made a pink, and then the one guy couldn't use the pink. Here's a bunch of vague references for you. I should add those vague references in. So he tosses the jar at the rainbow ooze. It splashes in an arc of unending onyx. Let's see. He tosses the jar into the air. Splashes the jar into the air. It splashes in an arc of unending onyx. I'm gonna say it's not that it splashes. I don't know. We'll think of a better way to say that later. Arc of unending onyx. Well, this is not the word I want, but I'm just gonna write it and move on for now. So, smashing into the rainbow ooze. It immediately ignites and the shadows fly up the ooze and destroying the rainbows and dissolving the light as they crawl back to the Gothic ruins, where we will inevitably be leaving the ghost, just so everybody remembers. I'm going to write that, leave the ghost. We'll get that later. As they crawl back to the Gothic ruins, as the shadows that's not exactly what I want to say. Let me think about it. He tossed the jar in the air, splashed an argument in Onyx, smashing into the rainbow ooze, which is another thing that we need to fix. It immediately ignites and the shadows fly up the ooze, destroying the rainbows and dissolving the light. As the shadows crawl, as the ooze slithers away. Let's say not as the ooze slithers away. Let's just say the ooze slithers. The remains of the ooze. There we go. Now we're getting it. The remains of the ooze slithers back into the Gothic ruins. Defeated. Destroyed. No, it's not defeated and destroyed. Let's just say it slithers back into the Gothic ruins. The remains of the ooze slithers back into the Gothic ruins. Alright, I just have this leave the ghost thing because I want to remember that we can leave the ghost at the Gothic ruins and we don't need to bring another character into the village because, oh my gosh, but he can come back later because he's a ghost. He can literally be anywhere. Unless he can't, if you're like confining him to the space where he died. Also a thing. Alright, so we had Veneer going darkness death, shadows cast out the light. Remains of the ooze slithers back into the Gothic ruins, and let's have that flying cat say, "You did it!" Super happy cat. What does super happy cat look like? Yay! It's a great super happy cat. You did it! Hooray! You saved us! The word slams into you like a super hard, slammy thing hitting you in the chest. Hitting you in the chest. Hero. Veneer. The hero. That can't be. There is no way that is what they meant. Okay, the word slams into you like a super hard slammy thing hitting you directly in the chest. It takes your breath away. And hold this. Ding, 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 ding. That's another one where we want to break this up a little bit. Hero. Veneer the hero. Veneer. Let's say Veneer the hero. There's no way that is what they meant. Okay, so where this is all leading is we are getting Stariel back to the village. He's going to meet with Cam at the Sidekick Bakery. He's going to talk through everything that happened, and then Cam is going to ultimately show him that he still did some heroic things, even though he didn't get to do the big galaxy dust defeating battle scene. Okay. So the word slams you like a super hard slammy thing hitting you directly in the chest. It takes your breath away. Hero, veneer the hero. This is not. There's no way that is what they meant. Excuse me, did you? Happy ghost, happy ghost. Ooh, happy ghost. Okay, excuse me, did you? Wow. Veneer. Coming out of nowhere with the... I don't know. Alchemical solution. Come back to that one a little bit. Wow, Veneer coming out of nowhere with the alchemical solution. And let's have... Did you even need to say that poem? Poetry is something about poetry. Something about poetry. Poetry is some kind of reference. Moving on. That's like, okay, poetry is some kind of reference. Story. I was just about to, and let's not let Stariel finish his thoughts here. Let's, because he's going to bring that background with Cam in the next chapter, so we can say, thank you again and again. My kingdom is safe with, due to, my kingdom is safe because of you. My kingdom is safe because of you. Please, as a token of my... Sorry, I don't remember what that word is, but I have a really bad, gross idea that nobody's here to tell me no on right now. So thank you again and again. My kingdom is safe because of you. Please, as a token of my appreciation, there we go. Appreciation. Please take this hack cack. Did y'all figure out what was happening? A hairball pops out of the flying cat's mouth and onto the ground. You look at it skeptically, but you've received stranger booty, maybe? I'm gonna say stranger booty. You pick it up in your hands. Gooey. Like troll snot. You immediately regret your decision. And y'all know where this one's going, right? He's gonna say, ew, drop that. What are you doing? I was going... That is not the reward. This is. Alright. He reaches into the depths of his He reaches into the depths of his... Well, we've been saying they. So, they reach into the depths of... their fur and pull out a gigantic red ruby. And is that... People are all about not finishing their sentences in this one. We might come back for that later. The... What's another thing? The perfect ruby. Why, yes, it is. And in appreciation for your heroic deeds on this blessed day, I hereby bequeath it to you. May it, I need to fix all that. Bequeath it to you. May it bring you long life and longer. Sorry, everything I have is really inappropriate. May it bring you long life and years of joy. Parentheses, maybe something cooler. All right. You gasp as the flying cat, deflighting cat presses the ruby into Vanir's palm. You cannot believe what is happening. The alchemist is the hero. And what does that make you? Let's do a... We gotta fix this background, by the way, and we'll do that in a little bit. Vanir looks over at you carefully as he quietly places the ruby in his pocket. Are you hungry? I hear... What do you hear? Are you hungry? I hear Cam is making some cinnamon rolls this morning. Alright, you gasp as the flying cat presses the ruby into Vanir's palm. You cannot believe what is happening. The alchemist is the hero. Are the worlds falling apart? You cannot find the center. Yes, that is a W. Yeats reference. You cannot find the center. Anarchy. If he is the hero, then... And the princess is the villain. Then what does that make you, my friend? The princess? Vanilla looks over at you carefully as he quietly places the ruby in his pocket. Come on. I hear Cam is making some cinnamon rolls this morning. Your stomach rumbles. Okay. I think this is all going well. Just trying to think of what our transition... this is kind of enough for a chapter, but it's like it's an ending chapter. Like it ends that this kind of arc of the scene, and we're heading down into Mount Dune. We're heading to the village, and then we're heading to Mount Dune. Eventually, so I'm kind of trying to decide what's our what moves us into the village, what kind of keeps the tension ramped up. Just at the end of this chapter to get people to read into the next one, because we're kind of finishing something out here. So maybe we can chase some sexist werewolves down into the village? Yeah, let's do it. So, come on, here Cam is making some cinnamon rolls this morning. Your stomach rumbles. You could go for some frosting as long as it doesn't have that fancy nutmeg in it. Why? Okay, so your stomach rumbles. You go for some frosting as long as it doesn't have any of that fancy nutmeg in it. You turn toward the ghost. The very scary ghost. Doot doot. You coming? I don't eat. You know. Rotted out stomach and all. We might change that, but for now it's there. You. A rustle in the bushes. A rustle in the bushes. A rustle in the bushes saves you from total disgust. Let's say total grossed outedness. 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 Grossed outedness. Sweet. A rustle in the bushes saves you from total gross outedness. We've got that. We've got that Venus flytrap. We forgot him again. We're just going to put it up here because we're not going to do that today. So I'm just putting it randomly on this line. Don't forget the Venus flytrap. You have to set it down and pick it back up. So rustle in the bushes saves you from total gross outedness. You watch in confusion. Wait. You're a hero, so your hand is already on your sword, remember? So your hand tightens on your sword. You watch in confusion. as what? As 7 hairy shapes emerge on the trail. They head down the path toward the village. Are those? They. Wait. So, the full moon does what? Like comes out of the clouds. The clouds part, and the full moon does something in the sky, and the clouds part, and the full moon rises like a diamond in the sky. Diamonds in the sky. All at once the shapes turn and howl together, their voices breaking through the night. Then, as one, they turn and head down the path straight for Dario says the village. Boom. Oh, we did it, folks. We got to the end. So we have our werewolf transition happening there. I already have a funny idea on what's going to happen with that. But we do have those werewolves running towards the village. We have Stariel is out of those gothic ruins finally. We need to find out what's happening with the princess. All of these things shall happen, but for now, thank you for joining in as we drafted the end of that chapter. And tomorrow, we will edit, probably during the middle of the day tomorrow, because I have an event tomorrow night. So during the middle of the day, we will kick this out and clean it up and go back through and see what we missed. And also figure out some funny references in the meantime. So until then, have a good night. Stay safe.